it's TheRawsomeVeganGal here, and I'm here to talk to you about a new product. Well, it's not actually that new, but it's from this great company. It's called Vejibag, and it is an organic cotton cloth produce bag. And they come in actually 3 sizes, or they just launched, or they're going to launch their 3rd one. And this is the first one. It's just called Vejibag. And I'm going to open it up to show you and talk about it more. And then the second one they have is called their Vejibag. As you can see, it's much longer. And then the 3rd one is called Veggie Chef, and that's really big, and it's wide. As you can see, it's this wide. So I want to thank Sally for sending me the products, and we're going to do something really special. So just so you know, this is 100% U.S. organic cotton. The vegetables, it says, stay crisp for up to 2 weeks. It creates a cool, humid environment that lets the vegetables breathe, and the organic cotton wicks away moisture to prevent rot and slime. And these are actually handcrafted at home by women in Maine. So what you do with it is, I'm just going to take off this on here to show you. So this is what the bag looks like, and it has a little fold over top. And then you open it up and you put your stuff in here. And what you do is you are going to, it's a 3-step process. You wet and wring it, and I don't have it wet right now because I'm going to tell you what we're going to be doing. You wet it, you wring it, and then you rinse. You're supposed to rinse your vegetables, shake them out, and then store them. And then you want to keep the bag damp, wet as needed. So meaning, you know, if you're going to keep this in here for up to 2 weeks, you may have to check to make sure that the bag is staying moist, because that's the important part, that the bag actually stays moist for the vegetables to stay, to remain longer. So, so what it tells you here is that you rinse your pre-washed and unwashed leafy greens in cold water, and then you also, it's important to throw away anything that's damaged or spoiled, because that's gonna you're already starting the process off badly. So you want to make sure that your vegetables are really fresh and they're not already damaged. And then you're going to keep, like I said, you keep the veggie bag damp. You shake off the water from your greens. You don't have to dry them; just shake them off, and then that's it. And then you just store them in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. And why it works, it says, like, the water in the fabric slowly evaporates and draws moisture to the outside. So the damp bag creates a humid environment and both breathes and wicks moisture away from the vegetables to prevent rot. So because the moisture wicks it away, as opposed to the wetness getting into the bag. So then they mention tips and tricks here. So this is all on their little paper that comes on the veggie bag when you buy it. And I will have a link to the site where you can find out more about Vejibag. I actually found out about them first on Amazon and then contacted the company. So tips and tricks, they recommend prepare greens for a whole week. You could just have it ready. You rinse them off, put them in. Prep your snacks into your Vejibag, like if you want to wash your vegetables and store them in here. Fresh vegetables last longest with no bad spots, stored separate from fruit and kept cold. So what they recommend that you could use in here, what they say, is salad greens, carrots, broccoli, spinach, Swiss chard, kale, celery, eggplants, beets, sprouts, mushrooms, asparagus, green beans, zucchini. So, but what my concern was that the veggie bag would get stained when you put greens in here, and I don't know if that's the case or not, since I haven't actually tried it yet. So what I will probably do is use some things that are less likely to cause that to the bag. I really want my bags to stay nice if possible. And I believe they're machine washable. I did not see the information on here, but I believe I don't remember if she's told me that they're machine washable or not. So I'll have to check back on that. So what I would probably do is use something more like zucchini, celery, things like that, cucumbers, things that aren't going to cause as much stain. And what I'm going to do is a special experiment. So this is the pre-experiment video. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do it in all 3 bags. I might just use 1 bag to do the experiment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the same thing in 3 different kinds of bags to show the difference in what happens to your produce when you have it in something that it really shouldn't be in, such as plastic. So, for example, so what we're going to do is use something like this, a plastic bag. Now, just think about it. If you were wrapped in plastic, you would be sweating terribly. You wouldn't be able to last too long. So vegetables are not supposed to be wrapped in plastics. And they're also chemicals. That's the problem, too. Like this plastic bag says it's a number 4 plastic, which supposed to be better, but it's still plastic. It's still chemicals. So we're going to use either a plastic bag like this or a plastic bag like this. I don't know the number on this one, but we're going to put something in those bags. And I don't know that I'll eat from those bags because I personally don't put my food in plastic. What I use actually, which is a better option, is something called Biobag, and I'll have a link for them as well. So we're going to put vegetables in the Biobag. The Biobag is actually a compostable, certified compostable bag. It is not made of plastic, and it can be reused, and it does eventually break down, because I've had it break down even in, like, while I've had it here. The material is called Mater by, MATER-BI. So I have one with handles, and I also have one that's a small, like a produce bag. So what I'm going to do, the idea is, what Sally said, is that usually between 7 to 10 days you'll see a difference in your produce, like what happens if you have it in these different bags, like for the plastic, and then the compostable bag, and then the veggie bag. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to experiment to see what's going to happen, the difference in the produce once you have it in those different types of bags, because I think that will really show you the difference in how your produce can actually stay much fresher if you put it in the right bag. Which the idea is that the veggie bag is the one that's really going to keep your food staying longer. You won't have to have as much waste. Although me personally, I don't have any waste. I compost everything anyway. I don't throw my food in the trash. So that's the whole idea. Is we want to get away. We also want to get away from using plastic. So the idea is for stores, more stores, to sell things like this, where your produce can go into here and be healthier, and it actually breathes, and you're not getting the chemicals. Like, for example, when plastic, it gets wet and then it wets on your vegetables. We don't know what's coming off that plastic, if it's leaching onto the food. Nobody really knows for sure what's happening. So you cannot be sure. So these are just they're really beautiful the way they're made. It's just like a organic cotton terry on the outside, and the inside too. It's like a softer material. You can see it's almost like something you would like a jersey type knit weave. And so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna do that. And so in the next video, when I follow up, I will show you, and I'll talk to you more about what happened. Like, I'll monitor the food in the fridge. I won't be able to do a video of me showing you the food in it, but what I will do is after let's say 7 to 10 days, I'll see the difference in that. And again, it's important to always make sure that the bag is moist so that this stuff will stay fresh. So that's Veggie Bag. And again, we have the small size, just called Veggie Bag, and then again we have the next size, which is the Veggie Big. So you can see now it's much bigger than this one, although this one's still folded over, but you could see this is actually longer. I can show you, if I can hold that up correctly, I'll fold it again for you to see that this one is much longer than that one. It's still, I think, the same across, but then the big one is actually much bigger. It's longer. You can see that it's much longer, and it's much wider here too. So you see it's much wider. So that could really hold a lot of stuff. Like if you had like mixed greens or something. But again, I'm sure that will hold up, but for me, I really want my bags to stay clean. It's something that I just don't want them to get stained. I don't know how they would clean off afterwards. So those are the Veggie Bags, and tune in for the next follow-up video where I will be showing you the results of my experiment. Thanks for watching. It's the Rawsome Vegan Gal.